I will call the August meeting of Paulding County Industrial Building Authority to order. Welcome our guests today. First item of business is the approval of the minutes. There's a misprint on these as well as the IBA, as the Airport Authority earlier. This should be approval of the July 15th, 2015 minutes. You received a copy of those. Did anybody note any errors or omissions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a motion by Mr. Shipp. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mayor Debbie. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I'll let the record know that I abstained, that I was absent from that meeting. Reports and updates. Report from the West Georgia Joint Development Authority, Mr. Shipp.
Nothing to report except the next meeting is next Thursday morning. Person Center in Carrollton at 11:30.
Report from the Paulding Chamber, Ms. Wright.
Tomorrow is our Ragsdale Heating, Air, and Plumbing Clay Shoot, and we are excited about hosting that for our members. On September the 3rd, we will be honoring our public safety, having our public safety appreciation luncheon, and Judge Boggs will be the speaker. He's the Court of Appeals, so look forward to honoring our public safety people.
All right, report from the Executive Director.
We'll start with the film studio. You have a whole report that I just passed out just a moment ago. This came in last night, so it's hot off the press. As you can see, there are currently 6 holds starting in September, and there are 4 additional holds in October, so we have a total of 10 holds. A couple of these are rather short. The Gareth Wood hold is just a commercial, so it's only 3 days. And the Carolina Gulfstream is a commercial as well. So we have had some good success here lately with commercials. There is quite a lot of commercial activity going on in Atlanta, and those make very, very nice filler when we don't have a major production going on. So that's something that is kind of a new focus for us, and we're starting to spend more time on the commercials. They do pay a bit of a premium because they're only in for a few days, so that'd be a higher rate than the other TV shows and movies pay, so that's a good thing as well. So, for example, if a commercial comes in for 3 or 4 days, they'd probably pay the same rate as someone else would for 8 or 10 days. So commercial may take up 1 week, but it pay the same revenues too, so those are good things. Moving on to the Film Industry Training Partnership. I handed out a flyer to you. There's also some in the back of the room if anybody's interested in it. But this is a partnership between the Atlanta Film Studio, the Paulding County Chamber of Commerce, the Film Institute Training Seminar, or that's what their name is, and the Paulding County School System. And this actually came out of another production that we were working on, a movie production that we were working on. And these folks are going to be doing this training at East Paulding High School. And it is September 26th and 27th. And basically what this is a 2-day short course on film etiquette, protocol, safety, that type of stuff. So it's geared toward anyone who might be interested in working in the film industry, whether it's someone who's just interested in being, like, for example, an extra on a movie set, or someone who actually thinks that they may have an interest in a career path in the movie industry. The fee for the course is $100 for adults and $50 for students. So we're really gearing this specifically toward high school students, and we're going to be promoting it through all 5 high schools, through the drama clubs and media clubs and other organizations like that. This came from, as I said, a production that we're working on, a movie production, that's actually going to be using Hiram High School.
Thank you.
So they're going to be shooting some scenes from this movie in Hiram High School, and they wanted to be able to use students from Hiram High School as extras for the shot. However, if you just take students who aren't trained and who don't know anything about film production, etiquette, protocol, all of that, it can be very, very chaotic, very difficult to try to utilize those folks for extras. So they brought in this group that does this training course with the idea that they can hold this training course in late September, and that way those kids who are interested in being extras on the show that's going to be shot in late October, they can take this class and then they're essentially trained to be extras on the show. So it's a real neat program. It's something that they do actually all around the country, actually all around North America. They do it in Canada as well. So I think it's going to be very, very valuable for not only the students who are possibly interested in film as a career path, but adults that are looking at possibly a change in career or a new career path in the film industry as well. So I think it's going to be great, great training, and definitely appreciate the school system and the Chamber of Commerce partnering with us to bring this to Paulding County.
Blake,
Yes.
on that note, it is actually the chamber that's paying for the students to attend it, correct?
No, it's not. The chamber is paying for a portion of the cost to bring the training
Okay.
to Hiram High School. There's still a $50 fee for the students who want to take the course, but it's usually like $125 per person. So basically what we've done is we've used some of the chamber's dollars to offset that cost for the
That's what I
students.
meant.
So we're able to get the cost for them down to something that hopefully they can afford.
More reasonable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to mention that as part of this program, there's a cost, or I should say a profit sharing portion of this program as well. So depending on how many people attend the training, once they meet, this company meets their I guess, cost on putting the training on, from that point forward, there's a sharing with the school on the proceeds that are derived from the training.
So a certain percentage.
That's right. So some of the money will actually go back to the school system. So we've talked with Cliff Cole and others at the school system about potentially using the money that's going to go back to the school system to fund the next set of training that is to be done. This is just one class that this company offers, one training class that they offer. They have a whole series of training classes for different roles, different jobs, different things that you can do in the film industry. So we're hoping that this is just the first class, and that over the next several years we'll be able to have additional classes and hopefully have them paid for by the previous class, if that makes sense.
So a lot of the drama groups and stuff will probably.
I think they're going to be really very, very interested in this. The gentleman who's putting this on, Mr. Chaplin, has been in the film industry for 35 years, has done just about everything he can do in the film industry. So they're going to be learning from seasoned professionals that have been doing this for a very, very long time. Any questions on that? Moving on to the corporate hangar, we are just about to get a CO on the corporate hangar. We've finished up with the sprinkler system. We've finished up with the monitoring system for the sprinkler. And the last thing that's left to do on the hangar is just reconditioning the floors. We've talked about this for a long time now, that the floors in the hangar were not to spec, and we are having a contractor who's coming out of Savannah to come in and do some grinding on the floor to get the floor in spec. And what I mean by that is the floor has to be within a certain tolerance on levelness for the floor. So they've got to come in and grind down some high spots in order to get the floor tolerance on that. So they say they'll be done with it in about 8 days once they get in there and get started. So I'm hoping they get started next week, and 8 days later be done with it. So seems like it's been a long process getting this hangar up and going, but at least we're at the finish line now. Paulding County Economic Development, I think probably everybody already knows that Mr. Reynolds has been hired to head up the Paulding County Economic Development Organization. Mr. Reynolds has a long background in economic development. He was the Economic Development Director over in Douglas County for many years. We worked with him on the Joint Development Authority between Paulding and Douglas County for a number of years. Then we worked with him in the West Georgia Joint Development Authority for a number of years after that. So We've worked with Mr. Reynolds on and off for many, many years. So he knows Paulding County, he knows economic development, and I think we're fortunate that we're able to get him hired and get started to help us out with some of the projects we've got ongoing in Paulding. So hopefully he'll be here next month to give us an update on economic development activity. The last thing I have on my report is North Industrial Boulevard property. I think everybody's also aware now that the Paulding Board of Commissioners has decided to move the location of the 911 center, which was previously designed to be a joint use facility with the fire station and the crash station out at the airport. They decided to move that over to the property in the North Industrial Boulevard. That property had been on our books for many, many, many years, long before I came to the Industrial Building Authority. It had been on our books. Some research was done by the county attorney's office and determined that the property was transferred from the county to the Industrial Building Authority in 1997. And then in 2000, it was transferred from the Industrial Building Authority back to the county. It's my understanding that they transferred that property back to the county in 2000 in order to construct the defects facility. And I think, from what I can gather from folks who were around at that point in time, is that once they constructed the defects building, the remainder of the property apparently should have been deeded back to the Industrial Building Authority, but that never happened. So the property is deeded in the county's name. I don't get the impression that they have any intentions of deeding it back to us since they're going to put the 911 center there. So we have contacted our accountants and asked them to remove that property from our books. So it should be coming off of our balance sheet. So that is all I have. If anybody has any questions on those items, I'm glad to address them.
Next item is a FY 2016 budget.
All right, this budget looks similar to the Airport Authority budget in terms of the way it's set up. In the left-hand column, you have the FY15 budget. In the right-hand column, you have the proposed FY16 budget. The first thing you're going to notice right off the bat is there are no funds coming from the Paulding County Board of Commissioners to the Industrial Building Authority this year. So that went from 275 to 0. Here we should anticipate a little bit of additional income from Paulding Jet Center this year and from Silver Comics, so those went up slightly. But overall, our income is way off of what it has been for the past 10, 15, 20 years, I guess. So what you're going to find in the expenses is that we have basically cut everything to the bone. We have cut everywhere that we think we can cut. So you'll see, this is about as streamlined of a budget as you can have. A couple things I will point out specifically. Legal fees have been reduced a little bit. Again, we do hope to have a little less legal activity this year than we had in the past. No guarantees there, but that's what we're thinking of. Professional services has gone to 0. Staff services is actually where it's supposed to be. Professional fees, that's the contribution we had made to the chamber in the past. It's now gone to 0. So there's no money coming from the IBA to the chamber. Lawn care and landscape, we've trimmed that down as much as we can, but we really can't trim it down any more than that unless we're just going to let the industrial parks start growing up the grass. So we've done all the trimming we can there. Moving over to page 2, you'll see land development and engineering. We've cut those in half, so we won't be doing a whole lot in terms of land development or engineering in the coming year. And as I mentioned in the previous meeting, in the Airport Authority meeting, we're not going to be able to do any funding to the airport from the Industrial Building Authority this year. Funds simply aren't there, so if we don't have the funds, we can't do that. So what you see in net ordinary income is a net loss of $165,000. So how do we intend on making that up? Down at the bottom, you'll see other income. Other income, we have reimbursed expenses. I've spoken with Georgia Department of Transportation and the FAA, and we will have $150,000 coming back to the Industrial Building Authority this year for partial reimbursement for the environmental mitigation that we paid for out at the airport. So if you'll recall, I think it was 2012 that we paid for the environmental mitigation at the airport, which was about ballpark $900,000. We have been holding off on asking for reimbursement for that, as we did other projects out at the airport. But in the financial situation that we're in at this point in time, we've had to go ahead and reach out to FAA and ask them to start reimbursing us on that $900,000. So this is the first $150,000 reimbursement that'll go toward that environmental mitigation reimbursement. So that's basically going to help us up through the end of the year. And you can see we're still at net 15,000 loss in the year. That's just simply going to have to come out of reserve. So if we can trim it down any further as we move through the year, we're going to tighten the belt as much as we possibly can. But you got to pay the light bill, you got to cut the grass. So those are just things that something have to do.
All right, you've heard the budget. Is there a motion on the adoption of the budget? I have a motion to approve by Chairman Austin. Is there a second? Second by Mayor Debbie. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, we have a need for executive session. We have personnel issues, real estate, and litigation. Is there a motion to enter executive session for those purposes? Have a motion by Mr. Shipp. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Chairman Austin. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We will return shortly. All right, is there a motion to re-enter a regular session with a note that no action was taken in executive session?
I make that motion.
I have a motion by Mayor Debbie. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gazzetti. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously with Mr. Austin absent. And then there's no other business. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Have a motion by Mr. Gazzetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you very much.